Well, I'm obviously pleased with the win, and I thought our defense in the first half was terrific, and I thought our offense was very good throughout the game. But we set a little bit of a tone in the first half. Even when they did score, there was ball pressure. There was consistent pressure on the ball. We thought we had a little bit of a speed advantage and wanted that to show up in our aggression. They made some adjustments and attacked the rim much better in the second half, and we didn't defend as well, but we kept taking care of the ball and scoring at the other end. So we're pleased with the win, looking forward to the holiday, and looking forward to our next game against Coppin State.
Coach Mooney, Matt Grace's emergence offensively was evident, a career high for him. Would cause this, and is this something the Spiders have been working toward in terms of his aggressiveness? Absolutely.
I think that, I think Matt's a great player, and I've told him that very often. And he's a very calm player, which really is a tremendous strength for him. But also sometimes there's not that arrogant feeling that sometimes you want great players to have, or arrogant expression. And but I really do think he is. And tonight was really kind of how we see him a lot at practice. He scores. He shoots the ball very nicely, very well. He can get other guys shots. He has a great sense of what's going on. He can play multiple positions. He's a matchup problem a little bit for smaller guys and for bigger guys. So, yeah, I think the world of him, and think there'll be many more games like this, and really believe that and hope for that, because I think that's important to our team.
Burton was unstoppable in stretches.
Yeah.
You talk about his night.
Yeah, he was terrific. I mean, he can. He's just so good. I didn't think he started the game great, and then when he went back in, he had a three-point shot, and he had a really nice move in the post with a ball fake and a reverse layup. I thought he played great against Clemson, John, to be honest with you. So, for Tyler, similar to Matt, he's a great player who doesn't express that ego. He's a great kid, so he doesn't express that ego quite as much. But that's kind of really how I want him thinking. Just how good he is, how often he's done this, and how much of an impact he can have all the time in the game. And tonight he was special.
And Jason Nelson keeps showing you things, that indicate he's going to be a very good player. Is that the way you see it as well?
I do. It's so hard to be a guard in college, and your first year playing guard or playing point guard. There's just so many things you're responsible for, and we really want him to be aggressive and try to score, and that requires that much more of you. And the one thing that I really want him to continue to improve on is command of the game. Command of us on offense and on defense, and that's what our greatest point guards, and there's a good line of them, have had. They've just had command of the game, whether they've finished the game with a lot of points or not, but they've had command, just because that's the most natural position to have to do that. And I think Jason's growing in that way, and it's not the easiest thing, again, when it's your first season to do, but I think he has been a point guard, a very successful point guard his whole life, and he just needs to continue to come along in that, and then I think all the statistics will take care of themselves.
Coach, do you leave your players with instructions not to play basketball over the next few days, stay away from weights, stay away from sweating, or go get a workout or something?
Yeah. You know what, John? Just I think maybe year one or two we had more of a plan for that, and I think that most guys honestly will get a workout in. We have a few days off. I think most guys will get a workout in, but if they don't and they want to rest their bodies, I think that's fine too. We'll come back and we'll give ourselves enough time to get ready for the next one.
And lastly, on the A10, no dominant team. It's wide open. Perhaps not as many bids, but who knows who's going to win this year. So how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the least. I mean, Fordham has a great record, but this is probably the least impressive non-conference that we've had since I've been here. And now we only get, all the schools get about a 3 or 4 week window to beat the high majors if we can, and we haven't done that at the rate that we usually do. the quote-unquote top schools and leagues have really good schedules. So there's a challenge there. But, yeah, the way I look at it is that, for us, like, I feel like we have a chance to be very good. We have to demonstrate it more and show it more and be more consistent. We have a chance to be very good. I would assume that's how most of the teams feel. And I don't really study the non-conference quite as much as maybe you would think. But I do think that, I think getting off to a good start is that much more important because, they're, aside from Fordham, I don't know the standings, but nobody has a gaudy record. So maybe a good start, helps kind of give us or whoever confidence as we move through the conference. And but that's going to be important every year also.
I've had long talks with Matt, and for him, it's really all about confidence. I mean, that's what it comes down to for him.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, Matt's been here a while and has a great, he's like a great Richmond Spider. He's a great kid and student, and he's just been a great teammate. And I would say that it is confident. I think he's confident he can do it, and he knows. I think this is a bit of another leap, where it's not you're helping and you're leading and you're counted on to make big plays and big shots and big defensive rebounds. I agree. I think that it's a little bit more than just confidence. It's having that to say, like, hey, I'm going to go do this. And there's so much trust in him from the coaches and the other players that he just needs to. There's no real other way out. And I think he sees that. I think he's so smart. He sees that. But it's a leap from his role from before. And, like I said, I'm glad he had this game because I think we'll see a lot more like this.
There was a scrappy segment of defense there in the first half that got you rolling. Kind of got you out of that lethargy early. Can you discuss that and the way you were able to pull away?
Yeah, I mean, defense is always our primary focus. So whenever our shots aren't falling, our offense isn't going as smooth, what we really look to do is pick it up on the defensive end, and that really translates to good offense. So that's what we were trying to do at that point.
Your game is a career high, more aggressive offensively. Why was that? You came in averaging 5 points, so obviously you turned it up a little bit. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people told me, I just got to keep being aggressive. I didn't hit any shots last game against Clemson. Didn't play too well, so I really wanted to come out here and be as aggressive as I could be. And I think I did that. I think I took way more shots than I've taken in usual games. And I think that's what the team wants from me. So.
And could you share your thoughts on Tyler Burton's game? It appeared as though they didn't have anybody who could check him. I mean, when they backed off him, he hit jumpers, and when they crowded him, he went to the hoop.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. I think he went 6 for 6 from 3, and I mean, I thought I shot well from 3, but I mean, he didn't miss. So he's, incredible. Some of those shots were like the guy was right up in his face too. So really tough guy to guard because he can do everything. And yeah, impressive game for sure. As the Spiders hit this Christmas holiday milepost, what is your assessment on what are you 6-6 at this point? So yeah, I mean, we left a few opportunities on the table. It sucked for me watching a few of those games from the sideline, not being able to play. But I mean, what's done is done. One more non-conference game against Coppin State, December 28th, and then we got to get ready for conference. And I'm really excited for conference. I think we can do really well in the A-10 this year, and yeah, I'm excited. Hey, speaking of conference play, it hasn't been a distinguished non-conference performance by the league, which means perhaps you won't get as many bids, but it's wide open. Yeah. On the other hand, how do you feel? I know Coppin's coming in, and you're not going to forget about Coppin. Yeah. But big picture, looking at the A-10, how do you view where you are now, and in terms of where you could be in April or March? Yeah, I mean, every year since I've been here, the A-10's had at least one at-large bid, plus whoever won the A-10 tournament. So it's usually whoever does really well in conference. And like I just said, I think we have a good opportunity to do really well in conference play. Last year, Davidson did really well, and I think we have that opportunity to really do well.
Are you going home?
I am going home for a couple days.
Are you bringing Andre with you?
Andre is staying here, girlfriend. Girlfriend over me.
Is there sort of a do and don't list for what you do during break? Do you stay away from hoops completely, divorce yourself from physical activity, or what is done?
I mean, I'll have to do something to stay in shape, because 3-4 days off, it won't look good for me. So I'm gonna have to do some type of cardio to stay in shape, but it is a lot of rest, letting the body heal a little bit and using that break to our advantage.
That's across the board for most of you guys. You think that's the way most guys approach it?
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit of something.
Yeah, it's been, a lot of games, a lot of practices, a lot of schoolwork, all that stuff. So it's good to have a couple days just to take it in and relax.
Hey, lastly, your thoughts on Jason Nelson and his progress so far through the early part of his college career?
Yeah, I mean, Jason Nelson is a great player. He's going to be an even better player. It's always tough for a freshman, never mind a freshman point guard, to come in and have to run this offense, and any offense really is tough for a freshman point guard. So, I mean, he's done really well so far, and he's only going to get better as the season progresses and he gets even more comfortable with the step up in play. And yeah, he's going to be good.
Will we see this more aggressive Matt Grace offensive player in future games? Is this going to continue?
Yes, I'm going to try my best, take as many shots as I can, be as aggressive as I can, because I think it's not what I'm used to here, but I think it's what we need and will help us in many games. Yeah.
Is it difficult for you to be that player that you really haven't been in terms of shot volume?
Yeah, it's something I'm not used to. I mean, we've had so many great players here since I've been here, and it's just not something I've had to do.
Yeah.
And even this year, it's like sometimes, Tyler can go off, Jason Nelson can do everything, Isaiah Bigelow, all these guys can be making their shots and stuff, so I'm out there trying to get them their looks before myself. So even this year, it's like I have to kind of tell myself, you got to be aggressive as well. It's what we need.